Think your country is rich? The poverty rates might surprise you. We often associate wealth with gleaming skyscrapers and booming economies, but beneath that shiny veneer lies a stark reality. Today, we're diving into the often overlooked issue of poverty in developed nations using data from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. Get ready to pull back the curtain on a global issue that's closer to home than you might think. Buckle up, because things are about to get uncomfortably real. The United States, the land of opportunity, right? Well, hold your horses, because the reality is a bit more complicated. You see, America has this deep-seated belief that poverty is simply a necessary byproduct of a free market. It's like saying, sure, some people might fall through the cracks, but hey, at least we've got freedom. But here's the thing. Clinging to that ideology ignores the millions struggling to put food on the table, afford healthcare, or even have a roof over their heads. It's easy to get caught up in the narrative of individual responsibility, to believe that people are solely responsible for their economic circumstances. But the truth is, systemic issues like income inequality, racial disparities, and a lack of affordable housing all play a part. So, before we pat ourselves on the back for being a free nation, let's ask ourselves, at what cost? Is this really the best we can do? Because frankly, it feels like we're failing a significant portion of our population. Now let's turn our attention to Israel, a nation often associated with technological advancement and a high standard of living. However, even in this seemingly prosperous nation, poverty casts a long shadow. In recent years, Israel has experienced a concerning increase in poverty rates, exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a stark reminder that even in developed nations, economic stability can be fragile. The pandemic acted as an unwelcome magnifying glass, highlighting existing social and economic inequalities. Families already struggling to make ends meet were pushed further into hardship, while those living comfortably barely felt a thing. This disparity begs the question, what measures are in place to protect the most vulnerable during times of crisis? Mexico, known for its vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, and delicious food. But behind this idyllic facade lies a harsh truth. Mexico grapples with a significant child poverty problem. Despite being one of the world's top economies, millions of Mexican children experience the crippling effects of poverty daily. Picture this. A child, their tiny belly rumbling with hunger, their eyes reflecting a future clouded by lack of opportunity. It's a heart-wrenching reality that no child should have to endure, especially in a country with the resources to provide for its people. Malnutrition, limited access to education, and inadequate healthcare plague these young lives, robbing them of the chance to reach their full potential. Japan, the land of the rising sun, is renowned for its efficiency, technological prowess, and social cohesion. But beneath this veneer of order lies a hidden truth. Japan grapples with a surprisingly high poverty rate, especially given its reputation for low crime and homelessness. It's a paradox that reveals the complexities of poverty, even in seemingly well-off societies. You might be thinking, but wait, I've never seen homeless people on the streets of Tokyo. And you'd be right. Japan has a unique approach to homelessness, often providing temporary accommodation and support services. However, this doesn't erase the underlying issue of poverty, which manifests in different ways. South Korea, the land of K-pop, kimchi, and cutting-edge technology, might seem like a picture of success. But behind the glitz and glamour, a silent crisis brews elderly poverty. Despite being an economic powerhouse, South Korea has one of the highest poverty rates among senior citizens in the developed world. It's a stark reminder that progress doesn't always reach everyone equally. Imagine working your entire life contributing to society, only to find yourself struggling to afford basic necessities in your golden years. That's the harsh reality for many elderly South Koreans who often lack adequate pensions, social safety nets, or family support. Spain, the land of sun-drenched beaches, passionate flamenco, and delicious tapas, also wrestles with a difficult reality: high youth unemployment. This, in turn, has fueled a concerning level of poverty among young adults, leaving them feeling lost and disillusioned. It's a stark reminder that economic prosperity doesn't always trickle down to every generation. Imagine finishing your education, full of hopes and dreams for the future, only to be met with a job market that seems to have no place for you. That's the frustrating reality for many young Spaniards, who are forced to navigate a competitive job market with limited opportunities. Turkey, a nation straddling Europe and Asia, boasts a rich history and a vibrant culture. However, beneath its captivating exterior lies a stark economic divide. The rural-urban poverty gap is a pressing issue, with those in rural areas facing significantly higher poverty rates than their urban counterparts. It's a tale of two Turkeys, highlighting the disparities that exist within a single nation. Imagine being born into a rural community, your opportunities limited by geography and lack of access to resources. That's the reality for many in rural Turkey, where limited access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities perpetuates a cycle of poverty. Italy, the land of rolling hills, Renaissance art, and delectable pasta, evokes images of beauty and romance. But even in this picturesque nation, poverty persists, casting a shadow over La Dolce Vita. Despite having an extensive social security system, many Italians find themselves struggling to make ends meet, particularly in the country's south. It's a reminder that even well-intentioned social safety nets don't always catch everyone. You see, Italy's social security system, while comprehensive on paper, often faces bureaucratic hurdles and funding shortfalls. This leaves many vulnerable Italians, including the elderly and those with disabilities, struggling to access the support they desperately need. G'day mates, welcome to Australia, land of sunshine surfing and surprisingly high poverty rates. Despite its image as a laid-back paradise, Australia grapples with a persistent poverty problem, fueled in part by government policies that haven't always prioritized social welfare. It's a stark reminder that even in countries known for their high living standards, poverty remains a stubborn reality. Now you might be thinking, but Australia has a strong economy. How can this be? And you'd be right, Australia does boast a robust economy. However, economic growth doesn't always translate to shared prosperity. New Zealand, the breathtaking land of Lord of the Rings landscapes and friendly Kiwis, also harbors a dark secret, a significant poverty problem, particularly among its indigenous Maori population and children. Despite its image as a progressive nation, New Zealand's poverty rates paint a different picture, highlighting the urgent need for targeted interventions. Imagine living in a country renowned for its stunning natural beauty, yet struggling to provide your children with the basic necessities of life. That's the heartbreaking reality for many families in New Zealand, where child poverty rates remain stubbornly high, particularly among the Maori community. The United Kingdom, a land of majestic castles, charming villages, and a cup of tea, might seem like a scene out of a fairy tale. But behind this idyllic facade, a harsh reality simmers. A significant portion of the population struggles to make ends meet. In fact, after factoring in housing costs, the UK's poverty rate climbs even higher, revealing the hidden struggles of many British citizens. It's a stark reminder that even in a country with a long history of social welfare, poverty remains a persistent challenge. Imagine working hard, contributing to society, yet struggling to keep a roof over your head. That's the reality for many in the UK, where high housing costs eat away at already stretched budgets. The rising cost of living, coupled with stagnant wages, has created a perfect storm, pushing many into precarious financial situations. Canada, land of maple syrup, hockey, and a certain reputation for politeness. And while it's true that Canadians are generally quite lovely, even we aren't immune to the global issue of poverty. However, there is a glimmer of hope in this story. Over the last decade, Canada has made remarkable progress in reducing poverty rates, proving that with focused effort and effective policies, change is possible. Now, before we break out the celebratory poutine, it's important to acknowledge that poverty hasn't vanished overnight. Challenges remain, particularly for marginalized communities and those living in certain regions. But the significant strides made in recent years offer a glimmer of hope that a more equitable future is within reach. Greece, the cradle of Western civilization, evokes images of ancient ruins, sun-kissed islands, and delicious cuisine. However, in recent years, Greece has faced a different kind of struggle, a crippling economic crisis. While the nation has made strides in its recovery, the impact on poverty levels has been profound. It's a stark reminder that economic downturns can have long-lasting consequences, particularly for the most vulnerable members of society. Imagine seeing your life savings dwindle, your job security vanish, and your future clouded with uncertainty. That was the harsh reality for many Greeks during the economic crisis. While the nation has made progress in stabilizing its economy, the scars of this turbulent period remain, particularly in the form of high poverty rates. Portugal, the land of melancholic fado music, stunning coastlines and delectable pastel de nata, faces a challenge familiar to many developed nations: youth unemployment and its ripple effects on poverty. Despite its economic progress, Portugal grapples with a lack of opportunities for young people, leaving many feeling disillusioned and struggling to build a future. It's a reminder that economic growth doesn't always translate to shared prosperity, particularly for younger generations. Imagine finishing your education, eager to contribute to society, only to be met with a wall of limited job prospects and a lack of affordable housing. That's the frustrating reality for many young Portuguese who find themselves trapped in a cycle of temporary jobs, low wages, and a constant struggle to make ends meet. Luxembourg, often hailed as a beacon of wealth and prosperity, boasts a high standard of living and a thriving economy. However, beneath this glossy exterior lies a stark reality, a significant disparity between the wealthy and the poor. While Luxembourg enjoys a reputation for its high GDP per capita, this wealth doesn't always trickle down to every segment of society, leaving some struggling to afford the high cost of living. Imagine living in one of the wealthiest nations in the world, yet struggling to afford basic necessities. That's the paradoxical reality for many in Luxembourg, where the high cost of living, particularly for housing, can make it challenging for low-income families and individuals to make ends meet. Austria, the land of Mozart, breathtaking alpine scenery, and delicious Sachertorte, often conjures up images of idyllic living. And while it's true that Austria enjoys a high standard of living and a robust social safety net, even this seemingly prosperous nation grapples with poverty. However, Austria's approach to social welfare, with its emphasis on job security and low unemployment, offers valuable lessons in mitigating poverty. You see, Austria has long recognized that a strong social safety net isn't just about providing handouts. It's about creating a system that empowers individuals and prevents them from falling into poverty in the first place. Switzerland, famed for its stunning Alps, precision timepieces, and delectable chocolate, often evokes images of affluence and efficiency. Yet even in this seemingly pristine nation, poverty persists, and in recent years it's been on the rise. Despite having a comprehensive welfare system and a high standard of living, Switzerland has experienced an unexpected increase in poverty, challenging the notion that wealth automatically eradicates social ills. You might be thinking, but Switzerland has a fantastic social safety net. How can this be? And you'd be right, Switzerland does have a robust welfare system designed to support those in need. However, even the most well-intentioned systems can face challenges, particularly in the face of changing economic realities. Germany, often hailed as Europe's economic powerhouse, known for its precision engineering, rich history, and delicious beer, might seem like an unlikely place to find poverty. However, even in this seemingly prosperous nation, poverty has been a persistent issue, reaching its highest ever levels in recent years. Yet, amidst this concerning trend, there's a glimmer of hope. Germany has embarked on a mission to combat poverty, and early indicators suggest their efforts are paying off. You see, Germany's approach to tackling poverty involves a multi-pronged strategy, including raising the minimum wage, expanding access to affordable housing, and strengthening the social safety net. It's a recognition that addressing poverty requires a holistic approach, one that addresses both the symptoms and the root causes. As we've seen, poverty doesn't discriminate based on geography or economic status. It lurks beneath the surface of even the wealthiest nations, a stark reminder that progress doesn't always reach everyone equally. We've journeyed across the globe, uncovering the hidden struggles faced by millions, from the streets of New York to the villages of rural Turkey. The stories we've shared are a call to action, a reminder that we can and must do better. What can these countries do better to fight poverty? How can we create a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive, regardless of their postcode or background? The answers are complex, often requiring a nuanced understanding of the specific challenges faced by each nation.